Good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Invader here with your Invader's nightly news and weather forecast for May 8th, 2020. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you like our content for more weather news information. Welcome back, everyone, to Invader's nightly news and weather forecast for May 8th, 2020. Right now, across the nation, we got some snow system, clouds up here, some small storm system, rain, and then snow system right here that just recently passed through. Like we talked about that last video, is not the news. A May snowstorm, or not gonna be a named winter storm, but it's just gonna be a snowstorm in the northeast. Cross nation, just quiet, cooling. Cross nation, just cooling temperatures. Really cold, freezing, chilly temperatures across the northeast. The east is cold, but the west is warm. So right now we are seeing 2/3, basically the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. is seeing frost advisories, freeze warnings across most of the north, the east. So it's gonna be warm in the west, but cold everywhere else. You can see these are really cold temperatures right now. Freeze warnings being issued right now. We're seeing the coldest temperatures right now. Really cold temperatures right now. It's freezing. We're expecting about partly cloudy, then patchy frost. Low here, and this is in Wilmington, Ohio, 27 degrees. Really freezing temperatures, really cold temperatures. So I just suggest to get out the heavy blankets out. We're gonna see these freezing temperatures tonight. In the mid 20s to your upper 30s. We're expecting really cold temperatures, 40s, 20s, 30s. Really cold temperatures across the east. Much of the east, 2/3 of the east is under a freeze warning and a frost advisory so far. So we're seeing a really cold trend across the east right now, but it's warm in the west, but cold in the east. So let's talk a bit more about that. But after we talk about the tropics. So I don't want to explain. I am well aware of the tropics in the western Gulf of Mexico. There's good potential chance for a tropical development along this region. You can see in this red a great chance of development of tropical weather. But I'm not going to talk more about that because we've been talking about that in the last 3 days, and I can't keep talking about that same topic. So if there's anything new changes or interesting, I'll talk about it. If there's any new changes, but so far the model shifted south a bit. But if there's any more new updates, I'll let you know as soon as possible um, on Invader's Nightly News and Weather. But if you want to know more information on the tropics, you can watch my last video that was for May 7th, 2020 on Invader's Nightly News and Weather for May 7th. So here you can see this is the graphic of the snow we've seen, the small snowstorm with the rain and stuff. You can see we've got heavy snow falling in the northeast, so we've seen snow. For much of the northeast, we're seeing some chilly, freezing temperatures and snow. So yeah, we got winter storm advisories, winter weather advisories. I forgot what's called again. Winter weather advisories, right? Excuse me, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings. Yeah, we're expecting really chilly temperatures and off the snow and all that stuff. Then we'll be pushing through the east and remain some snow, then pushing through east. Later on, we got if rain and all that stuff. As you can see on the model runs. But yeah, we're still seeing snow and rounds of snow before it pushes off on Sunday or Saturday. Then it will be gone by then. We're expecting probably just let me rewind the models real quick. And I forgot to tell you the coronavirus news. I'm gonna tell you the coronavirus news after that because I really forgot telling you about the COVID-19 news. We're expecting about let me just load this up for you guys. It's just gonna load slowly a bit, so let the models run up here. We're expecting probably about we just run the models real quick. I'll let it catch up a bit. We're expecting probably about 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 10. But we're gonna see about probably 3 inches over here around West Virginia. But as we move on north, we could see 1 to 2 inches, 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2, 3 inches, 6 inches. But in May, you get the heaviest snowfall. This basically covers up the whole state of Maine. So Maine's gonna see the most snowfall, probably 10, 7, 11, 11, 4, 6, 2, 5, 1, 2. As far as you get north, you see the heaviest snowfall. You got 10 inches, 6 inches, 2 inches, 5 inches, 1, 2, 1, 6, 4, 3 inches, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1 inches of snow. But you get further north, you get the heaviest snowfall. So let's talk about the coronavirus COVID-19 cases, because I forgot to do that first. That's supposed to be first on our news then before we do the weather. Worldwide cases, right now we have 3,935,828 confirmed cases so far, and over 655 deaths so far. Right now, the United States leads the highest confirmed cases with 1,317,175 confirmed cases so far, and over 78,198 deaths so far. The top cases is still the U.S., followed by Spain, Italy, UK, Russia, Germany, Brazil, France, Turkey. Let me see. We got China, right? Is it China or Iran? Iran, China, Canada would be next, followed by Peru and all these other countries too, soon to follow. And let's talk about the curve. Is it flattening? Well, so far we're not seeing the curve to flatten. You can see it's still going up. We might hit 4 million cases very soon. We already are peaking up the highest cases right now. This curve is not flattening, as you can probably tell on the graphics. We're now seeing a change of flattening curve sometime, but it will be sooner or later if we stay home and take precautions. Earlier, this curve was flattened by now. NPR says coronavirus FAQs, temperature screenings, swimming pool risks, mosquitoes, goats, and soda. I don't know what they're talking about. CNN says Pence, press secretary, excuse me, Pence, oh god, blooper, there's a blooper. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. CNN says Pence press secretary tests positive for coronavirus. Trump says. The New York Times. No, let's talk about that. CNN says again the coronavirus pandemic is hitting black and brown Americans especially hard on all fronts. The New York Times also saying haphazard rollout of coronavirus drug frustrates doctors. Okay, that's more news headlines, top news across the nation. Let's move on with the United States cases real quick. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for pronouncing some stuff wrong, because I have been having trouble saying stuff and just making my tongue go la 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 stuff. It's just blah. Testing 1 2 3. Let's begin with the cases right now for each state, their recovery toll and death tolls. Right now, New York State is still leading the highest confirmed cases, of course, with 407 confirmed cases and over 21,045 deaths so far. They only have recovered about 56,378 people. We got the top highest cases followed by New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Illinois, California, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida, Texas, Connecticut, Georgia, followed by Louisiana, Maryland, Indiana, and all these other states in soon to follow. Here's their confirmed and their deaths toll, so you can just pause because we have to move on. Here's their confirmed cases and deaths so far. But this is if you see your state, you can just pause the video. You can find your confirmed cases and deaths so far on this list. Right now, this is basically new cases over time. We've seen about probably yesterday we seen about 25,000 new cases in the United States. Cases over time, the curve is not flattening, as you can see. Sometime we're not gonna see the curve not gonna flatten sometime. But if we stay home, stay safe, we'll be good by now. But right now we did probably more tests than yesterday, but the same 27,000 amount. But yes, we had did more tests. Maybe if we had did probably today we did more about 27,779 tests conducted in the United States. So we did a lot of tests so far today. We have done 27,779 tests so far today. As you can see, the curve is not going to flatten, and CNN says tensions and backlash mount as U.S. coronavirus reopening reveals a new way of life. Once the coronavirus epicenter, this American city reversed course. Let me see. Okay. Coronavirus updates. Pence staffer tests positive on appointment surge. 11 Secret Service employees infected with coronavirus, according to USA Today. Now, you can see this is no joke. We need to stay home, and probably I'll get your hurricane season preparedness, especially in a pandemic. I'll have that out probably very soon when I have time. Probably next week. I'll get the time to it because I wanted to like get into the recording, try to get along with recording all the stuff. Then I can do my hurricane season forecast next week, probably on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll do it, especially during a pandemic. So I'll do that very soon. Let's begin with the cooling temperatures. Then that's basically it for Invaders Nightly News and Weather Forecast. Wait, before we do move on to that, let's move to the Eastern Pacific on the tropics with that small tropical disturbance we're seeing. We're about 7 to 8, 9, 7 to 10 days out in the models, but I wanted to give you a quick update because we were watching very closely on these models if there's any updates. Because you guys want to know about it. Someone told me the Eastern Pacific tropical disturbance, but we checked the model real quick. It still has a good potential of a tropical disturbance. But now these models have changed. Now this is just really a weird pattern. Okay, so this is a weird pattern. Since these models are like days out, like 7 to 10 days out, you can see these models have changed. We've been having bloopers. Okay, we have been monitoring very closely on May 17th. Today we have been really closely monitoring on this small tropical disturbance. This gonna be probably May 17th. We expected. That's probably a week after this week. We're expecting a tropical disturbance forming. These models are about 7 to 10 days out, so we cannot tell if this is gonna be a tropical disturbance. But there's good chance due to the sea surface temperatures are above 26 degrees and higher Celsius, and we got a good chance, and there's less wind shear along the Pacific, Eastern Pacific. Have a good chance for a hurricane or a tropical storm or tropical disturbance forming. So you can see the low pressure. So this is the funny part of this path. This just literally stay along coast. This is gonna have a low pressure of 962 when it makes landfall. So this is gonna be a big one. This is gonna be a big one right there. This is the low pressure of 962. So we're expecting a really warm temperatures, warm sea surface temperatures in the Eastern Pacific, and good chance for a hurricane or tropical cyclone disturbance forming and might make landfall into Mexico, southern Mexico to be exact. You can see the model runs. This just stays on, so it could be a hurricane, possibly a hurricane or tropical storm. But I cannot rule out but it could be subtropical storm, but it could be a hurricane. Probably there's a good chance to be a hurricane, so that's why I'm saying there's like a 70% chance of hurricane, but we cannot rule out if it's hurricane. I'll just say tropical storm for now, but until we know it could be hurricane, I could say it's a tropical storm for now. So don't get your hopes up. These models will change. Let's talk about how much rain we'll be seeing with this system real quick. Okay, so these models have updated a bit. Let me just run the models real quick for y'all. We're just gonna show you this is the path of the storm. You can see, we can tell where this goes, so it might just shift. Then this just circles around the Pacific. Then it makes landfall into southern Mexico. You can see the rainfall. We're expecting probably about 14, 16, 16, probably 20 inches possible in the southern Mexico area. We're expecting landfall of this tropical disturbance or tropical cyclone climbing to Mexico. So the model saying, Jennifer's model is agreeing it will hit land into southern Mexico. Will actually hit land. So the models are changing. We'll be watching very closely and giving you updates if this system intensifies into a really strong hurricane or just a tropical storm. But we'll be tracking on the updates and the Eastern Pacific, of course, we'll be watching very closely in the Eastern Pacific on updates on what we're expecting and the updates on the weather across southern Mexico. Let's begin with the cooling temperatures, and we'll be wrapping up with Invaders Nightly News and Weather Forecast for May 8th, 2020. So let's begin with the temperatures across the nation. We're expecting warmer temperatures in the west, cooler temperatures to the east. So the crazy weather pattern right there. Then that weather pattern switches to cooler temperatures in the cooler temperatures in the west, warmer temperatures in the east. So that's a crazy weather pattern change, like rotating around. Let's talk about the temperatures real quick. The GFS temperature anomaly here, you can see we're expecting cooler temperatures for it's going to be sticking around for probably a few more days, so it's going to be a really chilly May for your Mother's Day, so expecting really chilly temperatures, you can see below average temperatures, and the warming pattern is arriving, but the west is going to be cooler, so this is a crazy weather pattern change. You can see the pattern of this right here. This is cooler temperatures here on the western side, but eastern side gets really warming up, and I'll talk about that in the GFS air temperature. So let me show you the GFS air temperature real quick. This is a GS2M temperature shader air temperature, and I'll talk about how much we're going to expect for the cooler temperatures. So we're expecting 20s, 30s, and 40s for May, the freeze warnings and stuff. We're expecting warmer temperatures to arrive as this cold front pushes through. We're expecting the cooler temperatures to rise. So probably today we're going to expect 30s, 40s, 20s. But this cooler trending is arriving. You can see 20s, 30s, 40s possibly. So we're going to see a really cool trend of cooling temperatures. 20s, 30s, 40s are possible for especially in the freeze warnings and probably off the northeastern areas. We'll see 2/3 of the northeastern areas will see the coolest freeze warning and frost alarms being issued. So we're expecting the really cool temperatures into the warming pattern rise. We're expecting 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s for much of the east and south. We're expecting the warming trend arriving back. So we're expecting 90s and 80s. So this is a new pattern change. 90s on Georgia, parts of Georgia, South Carolina, parts of Florida could see 90s, 80s, 70s. So the west will be cooler, but the west will be warmer. South and east will be warmer, but the west could be warmer a little bit, but cooler from the northwest. So we're seeing the cooling patterns in the parts of the northwest, south, probably south and east. In the eastern part, in the south and the southern plains, we see the hottest temperatures. Especially in the south, we can see the warming trend there. So that's all for Invader's Nightly News and Weather Forecast for May 8, 2020. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the special Invader's Nightly News and Weather Forecast for May 8, 2020. That's all for Invader's Nightly News and Weather Forecast. I'm Yargis Invader. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share to enjoy our content. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. And stay safe. Take care and stay safe, guys. And stay home. And make sure you stay active. Work out some muscles and get your blood flowing. And make sure you always practice social distancing, practice good hygiene, wash your hands often for at least 20 seconds. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay safe. Thanks for watching, everyone. This was Invader's Nightly News and Weather Forecast. This was an FS Rick News production. Thanks for watching your May 8th, 2020 Invader's Nightly News and Weather. That's all for May 8th, 2020. Stay safe, America, across our nation. We're all in this together. Stay safe and take care. See you on the next video when we meet.